Hey guys, real quick before we get started, I want to share with you a giveaway that I'm doing. Let's scroll to the top of my site here. At the very top, you'll see April 18th, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time is the Great Gadget Giveaway. I'm going to be doing it live on Vocal. How do you sign up? Come on over here. Put in your email address. If you want to get additional entries into the giveaway, then go ahead and tweet something out with the hashtag Aging Insider Live. That hashtag is Aging Insider Live. All right, guys, let's go on to the interview. All you wisdom seekers, it's Becca Niederkrum here with AgingInsider.com, and I have a question for you. The last time you were in your big box electronics store, did you overhear a conversation of a salesperson pushing a one-size-fits-all gadget into your hands or to a potential customer's hands? I have Phil Sieg sitting right here in front of me to talk more about those one-size-fits-all gadgets, and he is with Senior Tech LLC, which is the creator of Snapfon cell phones and the VisiKey large font keyboard. Welcome, Phil.
Thank you, Becca.
So thanks so much for being here. So let's get started a little bit. You've got the big, we see in the background, you are the creator of the big button cell phone and also the big button keyboard. Tell us where this idea came from.
Becca, the keyboard came first. We've been manufacturing the VisiKey product since 2003, and where it came from is my business partner's wife works in the assistance industry, and we had gone to a show where I saw some large font keyboards that looked like they'd been made in the 1960s or the 1970s. Huge keyboards, no functionality whatsoever, none of the modern conveniences of a Microsoft or a Logitech product. And they were very, very expensive, on the order of $120 to $200 for just a very basic keyboard that if it didn't have large font on it would wind up being $19 or $29.
Right.
And we went and interviewed a number of keyboard factories in China. And unfortunately, it's really not possible to make these sorts of products that we're going to talk about today in the U.S. anymore. They're all made overseas, and the greatest majority of them are made in China. We interviewed with a number of factories and proposed several designs and prototyped and wound up launching the first VisiKey product in 2003. We are now launching the third version of it, and we just got our first orders in stock last month. But in their first few years, before they get into classes to learn how to do that, they're hunting peck typists. And then we have a huge number of seniors who have been basically they've had the internet and computers thrust upon them. It's something that many of them never used in their professional lives or their day-to-day lives, and now that they're retired, it is their number one way to stay in touch with their family. And with our senior customers, there's two things that motivate us towards the VisiKey product. One is the larger font, easy to see, easy to use, and then the other was that we have an aging customer base whose vision is not as good as it once was, who oftentimes to use their keyboard would have to reach for their reading glasses. And we did a fair amount of homework on this, and most people, even with poor vision, can utilize the VisiKey keyboard without the need for their reading glasses.
Fantastic. Yeah, it makes it so much easier to just live life without having to stop. You can just get on the computer and get going. Let's talk about, so it started with the VisiKey keyboard, and then you said, you know what? Everyone seems to be, all the manufacturers are serving one side of this spectrum. Let me move over to this side of the spectrum of cellular phones. And you came up with the idea of the Snapfon. Tell us a little bit more about this.
Well, once we had a little bit of success with VisiKey, our regular customers, our resellers, started coming to us and saying, hey, you made this keyboard, can you make remote controls, can you make home phones, can you make cell phones? And we looked at all of these requests as potential business opportunities, and frankly, a lot of people started making home phones with big numbers and big buttons. There was a number of large print, large button remote controls, universal remote controls on the market, but there weren't, in 2005, there weren't any cellular phones that were designed to fit this person's needs. Snapfon is easy to see, easy to hear, easy to use. We want to maintain those three key points anytime we're producing a product for a senior or for somebody who's not terribly tech savvy. Easy to see, easy to hear, easy to use. So we made the buttons, the keypad, as large as we could possibly make them while still maintaining a very comfortable and standard size for the phone itself. We felt like if we made the phone look like something out of the 1980s or the 1990s, that the adoption rate would be very low. It needed to look like today's modern technology, just with a little twist to it. Easy to hear simply meant utilizing the finest quality microphones and speakers and making sure that there was plenty of volume for the phone and for our users. And then easy to use was mostly accomplished through taking out the majority of the menus that you would find in a modern day cell phone and streamlining it down to just the stuff that this particular user would wind up utilizing.
Your company, and guys, this is an American company in Tennessee, and they've done a lot of research in exactly what does the other side of the spectrum look like. And so I tend to refer to my customers as digital immigrants. Most of my customers are very successful lawyers, doctors, surgeons, business owners. Steve Jobs is a baby boomer. Bill Gates, baby boomers. These are people who actually created the computer. So one thing that really stood out to me about your company is that you took the aesthetic of what was important as far as a large font, but you didn't do it in a condescending manner. So sometimes people think, oh, it's an old person, it's someone that they just don't want certain things. No, they actually want to look like they are part of mainstream society, but they don't need all the bells and whistles. They don't need an app to play Angry Birds. They just need the basics to stay connected. And you did that in a very, just a pleasing manner to someone who wouldn't be embarrassed to carry this around or use the VisiKey keyboard.
Well, we first with the VisiKey and then with the Snap, what we learned through going out and speaking with potential users. My family and the people I know are my beta testers. My mother utilizes a Snapfon. She used the first one that we ever developed, and she uses the latest generation one that we're talking about today. And one of the consistencies between the keyboard and the phone was that the potential users of the product, they wanted the extra help that the device provided. They wanted the greater visibility and the ease of use, but they didn't want for the device to scream handicapped or special needs. Yeah. They wanted to look like everyone else in the supermarket with their cell phone, or particularly our business users of the VisiKey product, doctors and lawyers and other professionals. You know, they may have a client sitting across the desk and they don't want any special attention drawn to their keyboard. So we've tried to incorporate in our style and our design the desire of our client base to have very nice, attractive products that don't look like a special needs product.
Yeah, you guys have done an excellent job of that. So let's let's jump in. Let's start with the Snapfon, and you guys, I think I'll include this too in the show notes. How to get in touch with the folks over at Snapfon. They're very accessible via Facebook, Twitter. You can find them all over the World Wide Web, and this is an amazing product. But there's a few key items in here that really make it stand out. Can we start with the button in the back, this red circle button? Says on here SOS.
That is really the feature of the phone that makes it stand apart from any other cellular device that's on the market. That button, if held down for 5 seconds, can contact up to 4 pre-programmed contacts. And the way that it does this is it sends out a text message to all 4 immediately. As soon as you hold it down for 5 seconds, it'll send a message, and that message can be customized to say what you want. But the basic message says, get in touch with me, I need some help. And the next thing that happens is it starts at the top of that list with contact number 1, and it calls them. And it waits for an answer. If it doesn't get an answer, it dials contact number 2. If it doesn't get an answer, it dials contact number 3.
What if it goes to the voicemail? Is that considered an answer, and then the person in need could leave a message, and then it'll go to the second? How does it know?
The phone when voicemail picks up, that is a connection, and so the phone stops dialing at that point.
Okay.
And what we have implemented very recently, we have just launched our one call service, which is basically a monitoring service for that button. For a very small monthly charge, you can now have this button monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by a professional that has information about you, about your medical condition, your doctors, your points of contact. And if you have to use that emergency button, 2 things are going to happen. One, your contact list, those 4 names that you put in there, you're going to have 3 text messages that go out to friends and loved ones that say, help, I'm having an emergency. The other thing that's going to happen is your phone call is going to get answered immediately by a professional that says, Mrs. Jones, what's going on? How can we help you? And they're going to know how to process your call and get help to you as quickly as possible. Awesome. This is incorporated into 2 of our monthly service plans and starts for as little as $29.99 a month, and that includes the cellular minutes as well as the monitoring.
Nice. I think I need to switch cell phone plans. Mine goes up and up every single month. So let's go back to the text messaging. I think that's awesome. I mean, most people I see are doing this all day. They're text messaging. And so it is, to me, the number one way to get a hold of someone. If I'm in a meeting, if I'm, just have some downtime, I'll text really quick. If you call me, I may not answer. But if you text me, I might have a quick something to say.
We have something called Easy Contacts. And basically, when you're checking out, buying the phone on our website, you can elect to have us input your contact list for you. And you'll input it through our website during the checkout process, the names and phone numbers, and we will program that into your phone before it ships so that your contacts, your SOS button, along with your speed dial contacts would already be set up on the phone. Now, as far as customizing the text message that goes out, we have directions that show you how to do that. We have a walkthrough video. We have a bunch of YouTube videos to help our end users out and how to do these things. And because our menuing system is so simple, it's really very easy to customize that outgoing text message.
Okay, perfect. And I like how you said the menu is simple. Not everyone needs every single bell and whistle. It actually overcomplicates things. The biggest thing I learned in my business when I was sort of a geek squad for senior citizens is to make it as simple as possible. So when my client said, give me this much information, most people would give this much. Maybe ego was really driving that conversation, or just to show off. But they really want, if they're a digital immigrant, they want just, how do I get from A to B? Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's go back to the phone. We have the SOS button. Another awesome feature I like on the side, and it's clearly marked with a light bulb icon, is a flashlight built in. And I don't know if everyone can see this. There's a little light right here. There's a flashlight built into the phone. So you don't have to search through a menu to find it. It's just an on-off switch on the side. So how'd you guys come up with that idea? I think it's awesome.
Well, when you're building a device like this, adding small features to it really does not increase the manufacturing cost significantly, if at all, depending on how you design it. And we came up with a list of things that we thought that our potential user would find helpful in their day-to-day lives. And one of the top items on the list was a flashlight. Because you have when you get out of your car at night and you're walking to your front door getting your keys, do you have your phone with you? Yes. Do you often have trouble finding the right key? Yes. Having a flashlight makes all of that easier. You want to illuminate the sidewalk, when you're walking into a restaurant at night, things of that nature. Yeah. So the flashlight was basically a no-brainer, and it's been a very, very popular feature.
Yeah, I think it's so easy too. I have a flashlight on my phone, but I have to search through all the apps, and it's on there and it's great. But for the person who wants to find it very quickly and needs it fast to find the keys to get in their car safely, lock the door, find something in the bottom for ladies who have a huge purse. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. So, and then one other button I want to point out here too is the AM/FM. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll put a picture on the website. There's also AM/FM radio. How did you come up with that?
Well, FM only, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry, FM, on or off, yeah.
Just an FM radio. Once again, back to things that cost almost nothing to implement, but make the device more accessible and more likely to stay in the user's hands. A whole lot of people from our intended audience grew up listening to radio, turning to radio for whether it's baseball games or news, entertainment. And so to have your phone function as a transistor radio, we felt like for the very, very small amount of money that it takes to implement it, would be something that our customer base would find worthwhile.
Yeah, I think it's in this high-tech world, I found in state of emergencies, I'm in Texas, and so in the spring, we'll indefinitely hear that tornado siren going off, and we run to the closet, and there's no radio. So, which we have other devices, but if the phones aren't charged up, if we lose power, we need something very, very simple. Or if Wi-Fi goes down in the house, because it's just one thing after another, and suddenly it's the dark ages around here. So to have just the simplicity of the phone's always going to be on you. Everyone has a phone on them. To have all of these devices, the flashlight, the radio built in, absolutely fabulous. The large font buttons. Something else I noticed when I was dialing on the phone, there's an audible. You might say it better. There's it reads out the numbers that you're dialing as well.
One of the number one features that we get positive feedback on, you're not able to demonstrate because your phone isn't turned on, but it's called the speaking keypad.
Yeah.
And the speaking keypad will call the number back to you as you dial for confirmation. That way, if you're having trouble seeing the screen, you can hear the number as you push the button, and if you've misdialed, you know it immediately.
Yeah. How many times have we all misdialed because we're flipping through so quickly? We don't know. So it's so many little features in this phone that you've really addressed the senior market, the digital immigrant, so well in this phone. Again, this phone isn't for everybody, but it's so obvious who it is for, and it seems like that person would really self-select this phone for them as, you know what, this is exactly what I need. I don't want to text message all day. I don't need to look into different games or anything. I just want a phone. Most of my clients say, you know what, Becca, don't give me any of that. I just want a phone to call. And what happens is, what the conversations I overhear from children and their parents, my clients, or in the big tech stores is, you've got to have the iPhone, you've got to have the latest Samsung, Android, whatever it is, and without listening to their senior or their client.
We found that our customer and our user are actually two different people. Our customers range between 30 and 60 years old. Our users are typically between 70 and 90. Mm-hmm. And the relationship between the two is that our customer is typically the child, the grandchild, or the caregiver for our user. And so 70% of what I'm selling, our product, we are selling online to a tech-savvy Gen Xer or even in many cases an even older generation, and they're purchasing it for their parents or for their grandparents. Mm-hmm. So in order to be successful with this, there are really two considerations. The first is you've got to pass the smell test for the tech-savvy customer. Then you've got to have a product that once it's unboxed and in the hands of the user actually delivers the user experience that person requires. And it's been a bit of a challenge getting both of those things right. Having a website and an e-commerce presence that caters to the one while still keeping in mind the importance of the other.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I want to mention, you said something about the box, and I don't know if we've gone over this yet, but the box in which you deliver the product, you've taken that into consideration as well. So if the customer is between 30 and 60 and it's getting delivered to someone who is 60 plus, that's the person who's going to not only get the final product of the phone or the keyboard, but they're also going to be the ones most likely, I'm not saying every situation, that are going to open the box, open up the packaging, and I don't know, for those of you that have children that open up the boxes of plastic on Christmas morning, how challenging that can be. So you guys have really paid attention to packaging, the user manual, the user product guide. You also have the product guide available online as well. So everyone in the family can read it and get familiar with it if they need to. But you've taken into consideration the dexterity of our hands and how that changes, and how can someone get to this product easily without any frustration as well.
Well, we think that the user experience begins from the moment that the product arrives, and that includes the unboxing process. And our box is very easy to open and easy to deal with. Our product manuals, you mentioned that we offer them online for download. We also have a large print product manual that can be purchased through the store or is available as a free download from our website. So many of our users, the standard product manual, even though we've gone to links to try and make it as readable as possible, there are size constraints when you have to make everything fit into a relatively small box. So we offer that large print manual free of charge as a direct download from our website.
Yeah, but here's the thing, not everyone is doing that. So I do a lot of research in the senior industry, and I'm not going to bring up any names today, but I just question, if you're in the senior industry, have you actually done the test of everything from the out-of-the-box experience to the product, of making it specifically for the customer? And when I'm opening, that's why when you guys sent me the phone and the keyboard, I thought, you know what, this is incredible. I started to open it, and I put everything back in the box and turned on my camera, said, I've got to videotape this. Somebody actually has got it right, down to the type of font, a very open font, the size of the font on the manual, and I just got the manual that was in the box. And then also the packaging as well, down to the plastic that you use to wrap the phone. Everything, to me, as I was looking at it through somebody who might have some more challenges opening it, you guys have taken that into consideration. I think that is very, in order to be in the industry, you need to look at that from a comprehensive perspective. Not everyone's doing it, so major props on taking that into consideration as well. You guys really get it.
Thank you. Now, Becca, I know you go to shows like CES and some of the other tech shows. We also go to shows. And sometimes when I meet other vendors, other manufacturers of senior products.
Yeah.
You know, I look at their product and I just want to ask them, have you met your customer?
Yes.
You know, have you ever actually seen somebody try and use this? Because it's unfortunately too frequently the product that's designed for seniors was designed by a 20-something, never handed to the intended customer, and doesn't provide the type of experience that a senior wants.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I still run my tutoring business one day per week. And so I'm in and out. And there's part of me that doesn't, I have so much going on that I could possibly give it up. But the reason why I really love it is, one, I love it. But two, I get to see firsthand, okay, what's the experience when they're trying to get on this software? How can I make the user interface on their computer, on their desktop better? What kind of computer should they be using at this stage of whatever they're going through? So it really gives me that firsthand experience, which is why I'm doing this show. I became so passionate that there is a need out there, and it needs to be addressed A to Z. So, I get a little bit frustrated and heated when I see, oh, you know what, just give them an iPad. Just give them, just give them a keyboard, or just any, I'll place a large ergonomic mouse in clients' hands all the time because it fits so much better, and it's much easier for them to click in the right place, because when they click in the wrong place, bad things could happen. And I replaced that freebie mouse they got from Bank of America with something that it definitely costs more. It might cost, I think they cost about $99, but if it prevents them from clicking in the wrong place, that's priceless to me. If someone said, okay, I love what I see here, I know exactly who this phone is for, or I know exactly who this keyboard is for, where would they go to buy it?
Well, we would obviously love for them to come directly to our website, which is www.snapfon.com, or www.visakey.net.
Okay.
They can purchase direct from us, and we feel like that is probably the best user experience as well, because then they are creating a relationship directly with us, the manufacturer of the product, and they are our direct customer. If there's any needs, then we can see to them. With the Snapfon product, they can also purchase it on Amazon. And I am an avid Amazon user. I buy almost everything I can through Amazon. And so that customer experience is also good, but anytime you buy through Amazon, if you have problems, you have to deal with Amazon first and then deal with us second. So we try and get as many people as possible to come direct to us. There are a small number of cellular service providers, networks, that purchase the Snapfon directly from us, and they resell it with their service and their packages. But for the most part, the easiest thing to do is simply to buy it online. And then our keyboards, we have a small number of e-commerce resellers that we've had since the beginning, since 2003, that also resell our product.
Okay, perfect. So let's back up to VisiKey. What's the MSRP, or what's the price if they were to go online to visikey.net? What kind of price would they be paying for this?
The new VisiKey product is at a very attractive price. It's $19.99.
Wow. Okay.
And we have two models. One is a wireless keyboard. Now, it's a wireless keyboard only instead of a wireless keyboard and wireless mouse. The reason that we chose to go that direction is one of the things that you just said. Mice have become a very personal product. You find one that you like, and that's the mouse that you want to use. And if I'm selling a keyboard and mouse, I'm asking you to replace your mouse with my mouse. So we found that by selling a wireless keyboard, they can have the VisiKey keyboard experience and still keep the mouse that they've become comfortable with and love. Then we also have a wired version, same keyboard, same exact look to it. The wired keyboard, however, has a USB port built into the top of it, so that you can plug in your thumb drives, your SD card reader for your camera, or you can buy that and plug in the receiver for your wireless mouse, which is actually, that's how I use the Phil Sieg keyboard, is my wireless mouse, it's on top.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah,
I was looking for them.
And I plug the receiver for my mouse directly into that.
Yeah, you know what's nice about this too? It's going to be at this level, which means I don't have to crawl down to my CPU or with a flashlight in the back of it. So this little thing is a huge deal to not have to crawl around to that CPU. Okay, so the wired and wireless, those are the same price?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. So now the cell phone, they tend to be a little bit more complex with pricing. Can you give us pricing on this? We have the hardware, and then there's service too.
Basically, we have two different types of customers for the cell phone.
Okay.
The first customer is the a la carte customer. Their family already has service with AT&T or T-Mobile, and they just want a phone that's compatible with that service. Now, let me be very clear here. There are competing cellular technologies in America. AT&T and T-Mobile represent one technology. Verizon and Sprint represent another one. Our phone does not work with, nor will it ever work with, Verizon and Sprint. But our phone is compatible with AT&T and T-Mobile. Now that customer can come and simply buy the phone from us for $59.99 plus and free shipping. No, there's no shipping and handling charge. The other customer, which we are getting more and more, really the dominant customer that we're seeing now is the customer that would prefer to get their service and everything directly from us. And we have a cellular service plan that operates on AT&T's networks that is very inexpensive. It starts at $14.95 a month. And that customer is going to pay us $19.99 for the phone. The phone is discounted for that customer.
Great. Okay.
And then they're going to pay, just like with AT&T and all the rest of the networks, there is an activation fee. There's a $35 activation fee. So their price is going to be $54.99. It's going to be a little bit less. But where they're really making out is that $14.99 is for 130 minutes of talk time plus an unlimited warranty. We have a replacement program where all of our cellular customers can have their phones replaced up to 2 times per year, no matter what happens to it. Literally, if the dog chews it up, we replace it free of charge, no deductible on that, and no shipping charges. It's truly free. You get a replacement phone free of charge.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's absolutely phenomenal. Half of my business, I'm running around replacing cell phones for folks.
Well, and that came about through listening to our customers. So many times we would have people call in and say, you know, I bought a phone from you 3 or 4 months ago and I accidentally washed it in my house coat. Could I possibly get a discount on the next phone? And we did offer discounts to those customers. We'd look them up and say, yeah, we're real sorry about this. We'll be glad to discount the replacement phone for you. And then we thought, you know, is there a better way to do this? Is there a way that we could replace their phone without it costing them anything? And so we worked very hard on that for over a year in order to put a program in place where it was affordable for us and affordable for the customer.
I have one last question for you, and I want your tip as an expert in this area. What's one action a listener can take today to help a senior in their life?
Well, Becca, from a technology standpoint, I'll draw directly from my personal experiences with my mother, who is not tech savvy at all, no computer skills. So many of the things that we take for granted in day-to-day life are really only accessible or becoming only accessible through the internet. So what I would say is make yourself available for a senior that needs to maybe research a product online, sell an unneeded household item through Craigslist. There's so many things that I use, Amazon and Craigslist and eBay, in a day-to-day basis for myself and even for my business that are not accessible to so many seniors. And one of the things that I think could be very helpful is if there is a senior in your life, take time and bring these things up with them and say, hey, is there anything you're particularly interested in that I can look into for you?
Yeah, that's a piece of advice that not many people think about. In working with seniors, they don't know that if they have a large object, piece of furniture they want to sell, they actually may not be aware that Craigslist exists, or if it's something smaller they want to sell on eBay, they may not know how it exists, or how, if they know it exists, what's the process. They just know it's out there. And so you bring up a good point too, to ask, find out what does this person need, grandma, mom, just a senior in the community, how can I help them, how can I be of service, and then sit with them and show them the way, show them that, you know what, you can connect through Google, through Facebook, and just show them all of these things that we take for granted that are out there are ways for them to stay connected to the world. And that's, as retirees, that's really their number one question to me, is how can they better connect?
Sure.
Good tip. Well, Phil, thank you so much. Phil Sieg here, CEO of Snapfon and VisiKey, the large font keyboard. Thank you so much for your time today. And you guys go check it out, and I will catch you below in the conversation. As always, please subscribe. I will, right up above, there's a subscribe button, and I can alert you when every episode comes out of Becca TV on aginginsider.com. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Becca.